Start your engine!
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble, that's right. And if you like the contents of this video, rumble your way to subscribe to this thing. Right there, the little red button.
Subscribe!
We're here on the countdown to the #2 best United States Speedway rider team ever in the history. And this rider team was good. They were amazing in the 70s. They won 80% of the United States Nationals. That's unheard of. And who are these famous brothers? #2 on the countdown. They are the Bast Brothers. The elder brother was Stephen Roger Bast. He was born in 1951 in the City of Angels in Los Angeles, California. Michael Joseph Alvin Bast, born in 1953 in the City of Los Angeles also.
3, 2, 1.
This brother team was one of the most incredible brother teams in Speedway in US history.
No mercy.
At age 10, they raced flat track and TT. They won a lot of events. These Bast brothers were gifted at an early age. Back in 1968, they were wandering the streets and they saw this sign right here. It said Speedway at the Whiteman Stadium. The Bast brothers went to their Uncle Harlan and said, "Hey, there's racing over here. Let's go." Uncle Harlan, the cool guy that he is, he went out and purchased an old JP Speedway motorcycle, and he had the brothers, Steve and Mike, ride that. They shared that. They started racing at the Whiteman Stadium, 1968. Being 2 years younger than the brother Steve, Michael Bast, he started racing that Speedway. He had to learn just like everyone else at the beginning. Steve, on the other hand, was older and more accomplished, and he got in with all those good riders, those good TT riders from Ascot. These guys were good. Sonny Nutter and Sammy Tanner and a whole list of other great, amazing riders. And Stephen Bast, he started mixing it up with the big boys right away. They had team racing at the Whiteman Stadium, and Steve Bast, he was a team racer. In 1969, Costa Mesa opened up. In the summer of '69, yeah. And Costa Mesa with Jack Milne and Harry Oxley, they opened up the Costa Mesa Speedway for their first inaugural Speedway season. It turned out to be a raging success. The Bast brothers, they didn't know if it was going to be good or not. And then they found out that there was a lot of people and there was a lot of money.
Mucho dinero, yeah.
The Bast brothers decided to join that early on. And Steve and Mike, they became really good riders. They became so good that Steve Bast, by the end of that summer of '69, Steve Bast was the first United States Speedway champion at the Costa Mesa Bull Ring. The following year, in 1970, Steve decided to take off and go over to the pond, race in the British League. Steve was one of the first riders in America to go over to England. He paved the way for others like Scott Autry and others to go ahead and race in the British League. And Steve Bast, he raced for the Wembley Lions. The following year, in 1971, Michael Bast, he just kept improving his skills as a speedway rider so much that he was in the national championships that year, and he was tied for first place. He had a runoff with Big Mike Conley, and Mike Bast won his first United States Speedway Championship. 1973, Michael Bast won his second United States Speedway Championship. And the following year, in 1974, older brother Steve won his second and last United States Speedway Championship. However, Michael Bast, he picked up the slack. He won Speedway Championships 75, 76, 77, 78, and 79. He won a total of 7 United States Speedway Championships in the 70s.
You're right, Lucy. I don't believe it.
Oh no.
My name is Mike Bast. I dominated the 70s. They call me the Machine.
If you add Stevens' national championship, that is 8 national championships in the 70s. That means the Bast brothers won 80% of the United States Speedway Championships in the decade of the 1970s.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
Of course, winning all those main events, Michael Bast, he just won tons of main events. And when he didn't win a main event, it was usually brother Steven that won the scratch main event. It was just crazy how good these guys were. And in the 70s, it's no wonder the Bast brothers, they ruled Speedway and they ruled income. They made lots and lots of money.
Money, money, money!
Steve Bast retired from the sport of Speedway in the late 1970s. He packed up his bag from Southern California and he moved to Northern California with his family. Although Michael didn't win any more national championships in the 1980s, he continued to be a dominant, a force, one of the top riders, and he raced until the mid-1980s. Mike also packed his bags. His whole family was in Northern California in the Auburn area. So Michael Bast, he packed his bags and moved his family up north to Northern California. Mike is an American Speedway legend. He's just one of the riders that you just like pretty much bow down to.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Of course, Michael still likes Speedway. He still is involved, and he still frequents the Speedway races and Fast Fridays. The Bast brothers were truly not of this world. They were that good. The raw talents the Bast brothers possessed was off the charts. With great sadness, we lost the legend Steve Bast, October 30th, 2007 in Auburn, California. 1 p.m. that day, Steve Bast, he passed away of complications of kidney and heart failure, and he was only 55 years old. Steve was a great father to his son Steve. He was a great family member. All the Bast family, they love Steve Bast. He was a great uncle. He just was a great guy. And the Speedway family also dearly misses Steve Bast. Rest in peace, Steve Bast.